and it kept their goals that they're not going to lose their battle buddies in a time of need.
Evan, I know you say you don't want a plea. You don't want to see him plead. Why?
I wanted to go to a trial because I believe if he pleads, we won't ever get to hear from him what happened. And it's just another, I guess it's selfish of me, but I want to hear it from him of why he did what he did. I want to know, and I know that everyone who is involved in the situation wants to know. It's something that we have lived with for so long, and I think for the American people, they need to hear from him what he was thinking, what was going through his head. He needs to have the chance to, whether he wants to defend himself or whether he wants to tell the truth of what really happened. Is there anything he could say that would soften you on the matter? There's nothing he could say that would soften me on the matter. I'm not out to get him. I don't have any vendetta against him. I believe that he did something wrong and he needs to answer for what he did. And that's for the military justice side. They'll work on that. But other than that, I kind of want to know why, and I think everyone wants to know why.
Yeah, that's what you were asking last year when we met. That you all wanted to know why. Yeah. And you, Cody, were said that clip. We've played it so many times since then. I don't know how he felt about us, but we would have died for him. I would have died for him, you said. And we're struggling to figure out why he walked away. When you hear now the stories that he was tortured and what the enemy did to him, and those who say he deserves some mercy because of it, what do you say?
There's consequences for your actions. I feel bad and compassionate as a human being that happened to another American, but at the same time, if you wouldn't have deserted and turned your back on your fellow American comrades, then you wouldn't be in that predicament in the first place. I also don't think it's fair for him to get an honorable discharge, anything less than a dishonorable discharge, and forfeit all his pay and rank and benefits. You have guys that go to Afghanistan, Iraq multiple times that serve this country honorably. They don't desert. They do their job. They come home, and these guys are battling PTSD, maybe missing a limb, have a Purple Heart. Say they have a few drinks one night, make a mistake. They don't get an honorable discharge. So how is it fair to them that served this country honorably and didn't desert their fellow Americans in combat to come home, not get an honorable discharge, but he deserts? Misconduct before the enemy, and then now he's supposed to get an honorable discharge?
It's just one of the possibilities that was raised by the New York Times. It's not likely, according to the military experts we've spoken with. Josh, I want to give you the last word. I know you say when you heard that the charges were being brought, you felt relief. Were you worried that there would be pressure not to charge him?
The truth has been out there the entire time. We've been telling everybody that wants to listen what the truth is, from shortly after Bergdahl disappeared to the initial Army investigation to when he was traded back last year. Everybody that was around him knew what the truth was, and it's just relieved that the United States Army did the right thing in charging Bergdahl with desertion and misconduct in front of the Army.
Cody, Josh, Evan, thank you all for your service, and thank you for being back with us.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us,
guys. Up next, why is the United States military planning to put thousands of troops into American neighborhoods for a multi-state training exercise? We've got a Kelly File investigation into the story that has set the internet on fire. Plus, Mike Rinder was once the spokesman for the Church of Scientology for many years, the man in charge of making sure everyone kept the faith. But now he's making explosive new claims in a dramatic new documentary, and he is here next.
The doors had bars put on them, the windows all had bars put on them, and there was one entrance door that a security guard sat at 24 hours a day.
I had to stay there, sleep there. I stunk, and there were ants crawling around. You sleep about an hour, 2 hours a night. You were in such a mental state that you're very controllable, very suggestible.
No pictures of trucks pulling boats. No photos of men working on ranches. Just a Ram 1500 Eco Diesel that gets the best fuel economy of any half-ton pickup. Get more facts at ramtrucks.com.
Attention investors, beware of cockroaching. The Wall Street Journal reports nearly 5,000 high-risk brokers crawled from one fraudulent firm to another last year, putting your money at risk. You may be a victim of investment fraud. Take the time to review your investments. If you have losses due to broker misconduct, Sokolov Law may be able to recover some or all of your money. Call 1-800-978-3788. That's 1-800-978-3788. I'm a non-attorney spokesperson.
So, you're saying you'll give me my credit score for free? Right. Now you're gonna ask for my credit card, so you can charge me on the down low 2 weeks later. Look, Credit Karma. Are you talking to websites again? This website says free credit scores. Oh, Credit Karma. Yeah, it's really free. Look, you don't even have to put in your credit card information. What? Credit Karma. Really free credit scores. Really free. I could talk to you all day.
Take the roar out of snore. Yet another innovation only at a Sleep Number store. Nobody told us to expect it. Intercourse that's painful due to menopausal changes. It's not likely to go away on its own. So let's do something about it. Premarin Vaginal Cream can help. It provides estrogens to help rebuild vaginal tissue and make intercourse more comfortable. Premarin Vaginal Cream treats vaginal changes due to menopause and moderate to severe painful intercourse caused by these changes. Don't use it if you've had unusual bleeding, breast or uterine cancer, blood clots, liver problems, stroke or heart attack, are allergic to any of its ingredients, or think you're pregnant. Side effects may include headache, pelvic pain, breast pain, vaginal bleeding, and vaginitis. Estrogens may increase your chances of getting cancer of the uterus, strokes, blood clots, or dementia, so use it for the shortest time based on goals and risks. Estrogen should not be used to prevent heart disease, heart attack, stroke, or dementia. Ask your doctor about Premarin Vaginal Cream.
You can call me shallow, but I have a wandering eye. I mean, come on. National gives me the control to choose any car in the aisle I want. I could choose you, or I could choose her if I like her more, and I do. Oh, the silent treatment. Real mature. So you want to get out of here? Go national. Go like a pro.
Well, the players are famous, the charges are ugly, and the backlash has already been fierce. A riveting new HBO documentary details what filmmakers call the dark side of the Church of Scientology. Here's a preview.
Someone had told me there's this cult, and it will make anything possible in your life.
I was deeply convinced that we were going to save the world.
It was a transcendent experience.
You feel euphoric.
Everything you do for endless trillions of years depends on what you do with and in Scientology.
They sell it all in the beginning as something quite logical.
You take on a matrix of thought that is not your own.
It's so strong that it sticks you like glue.
Controllable, very suggestible.
You just don't see it happening to you. You justify so much. There is no logical explanation other than faith.
Mike Rinder is a former Scientologist who spent years defending Scientology. He's featured in the HBO documentary film Going Clear, Scientology in the Prison of Belief, which will debut March 29th on HBO. Mark, thank you very much for being here. And so it's interesting, the Prison of Belief, based on a book by a Pulitzer Prize winning author who's featured in the documentary as well, shot by an Academy Award winner. And already the Church of Scientology has come out swinging against you, which we'll get to in a moment. What does that mean, the Prison of Belief?
It means, Megan, that Scientology has a means or a way of getting people to believe that they have the answers to everything, that your very future depends upon your activities and commitment to Scientology and remaining a dedicated and committed member of the church, and to stray from it is something that will result in very dire consequences.
I watched the documentary, and I apologize for calling you Mark. I watched the documentary, Mike, and it talks about how there is allegedly abuse against members who want to leave the church. There's blackmail. There is allegedly tapping of people's phones who try to speak out against Scientology, that some are put in a sort of prison called the Hole, where they're not free to leave, monitoring by security guards, and an absolute commitment not to speak out against the religion, a commitment you say you were actually one of the enforcers of for years.
Yes, that's correct, Megan. I mean, it's ugly. There is no question, and that's the reason why I and others are speaking out, because we feel that the abuses that are ongoing within the Church of Scientology need to have the light of day shone on them and be seen for what they really are, because there is a perception that the church tries to put forward that everything is all butterflies and unicorns with the Church of Scientology, and yet on the other hand there are a lot of things that happen that are very egregious violations of human rights, and things that
would be illegal. Things that would be illegal as well. I mean, you're talking, not you, but the film talks about Tom Cruise, who's the most famous Scientologist, and his marriage to Nicole Kidman, suggesting that that marriage was divided by the church because she was not a Scientologist, her father was a psychologist, and they don't believe in that, and that at one point her phones were tapped, all of which the church has denied. Did they engage in these tactics?
Yes, absolutely, Megan. This is the pattern and practice of the church in dealing with things and people that they feel are not in step with them, or are in disagreement, or seeking to expose what's going on. I mean, you've seen the reaction that the church, I'm sure that you were flooded with all sorts of information about every single person that ever speaks out about Scientology.
They're extremely litigious. I mean, the viewers should know this. We did a segment on them a few years ago and we got threatened. I mean, they love to threaten if you say anything about them, even if you're not a Scientologist. But they're really upset with you. Moments before we came on the air, this comes in at 8:46. Dear Ms. Kelly, I heard you may be doing a program with Mike Rinder regarding the documentary. Why are you going ahead with this with a self-admitted liar who is admitted under oath he's paid $175 an hour by litigious plaintiffs' attorneys? He left the church in disgrace for severe and gross malfeasance. These are vicious, strident falsehoods.
And that is par for the course for Scientology. And in fact, that sort of reaction and response is what proves much of what's shown in the film. Look, Megan, they say that about every single person. Alex Gibney, an Academy Award-winning documentarian, has now become a bigot and a propagandist. Lawrence Wright, a Pulitzer Prize-winning author, is also a bigot and gets everything wrong. Nobody who says anything about Scientology that they don't like is anything in their mind.
I'm up against a hard break. I've got 30 seconds. Tell us why we should care. Why should people care?
You should care because there are people that are being hurt, and there are abuses that are going on, and they're being hidden behind the First Amendment. The church claims all sorts of religious protection, which certainly is a good thing or a great thing in this country, but it's bad when abuses and people are abused, and that is covered up by reason of nobody being willing to take it on.
The church denies the allegations in the film, but the film is shocking. It airs on Sunday night. Mike, thank you. We'll be right back.
Thank you, Megan.
You get sick, you can't breathe through your nose. Suddenly, you're a mouth breather. A mouth breather. Well, put on a Breathe Right strip and shut your mouth. Cold medicines open your nose over time, but add a Breathe Right strip and pow, it opens your nose up to 38% more, so you can breathe and do the one thing you want to do, sleep. Add Breathe Right to your cold medicine, shut your mouth, and sleep right. Breathe Right. And look for the calming scent of new Breathe Right lavender in the sleep aisle.
Was Dynamite? I am feeding the dog. Now for the dinosaur.
zinc, vitamins, and the digestive enzymes that may be missing from your dog's diet.
Her belly is all better, and she feels better. Give your dog Dynavite.
859-428-1000. Dynavite.com, DINOVITE.com.
A co-pilot's deadly decision. Inside the Germanwings crash investigation and how it could spark big changes for airlines. Greta gets answers on the record.
With Cox Business Internet Gateway, you can access the web wirelessly, anywhere inside your business. Worry-free.